A situation comedy. Item number: SCP-1743. Object class: Euclid. Special containment procedures. Due to its nature, SCP-1743 cannot be moved and thus requires on-site containment. The entrance to SCP-1743 is to be barred with a series of deadbolts and an electronic lock. The electronic module and deadlocks are to be inspected on a daily basis, and any damages are to be repaired immediately. Personnel are not to enter SCP-1743 for any reason other than to retrieve a disk from SCP-1743-1 and for maintenance. Should any unauthorized individual enter SCP-1743, they should be immediately subdued and treated with a Class A amnestic. To ensure that personnel do not enter the stage, chain link fence has been erected surrounding it. Should any individual climb on stage, security are required to alert Site Blank as soon as possible via radio contact. When SCP-1743 returns to its dormant state, the disk held by SCP-1743-1 should be collected and sent to Site Blank for review. Personnel are advised to make no effort to remove subjects from the stage. See Addendum 1743-A. Description: SCP-1743 is a sound stage located at Blank Studio Center. There are no records of when it was built or who authorized its construction. Those employed at Blank Studio Center have no memory of how it came to be. For the purpose of a cover story, those employed at the Blank Studio Center have been convinced that the building was abandoned after a fire in 1987. SCP-1743 goes into its active state when a human subject goes on stage. The stage may only be entered via the audience area, as the backstage area cannot be entered or observed by any means. After entering the stage, subjects are completely unable to return to the audience. Rather than knowing their situation, subjects will perceive nothing beyond the stage. They will instead believe they are going about their daily lives as normal. The backgrounds and environment of the stage will change to fit these delusions. SCP-1743-1 is a standard television studio camera that will record the stage non-stop when SCP-1743 is in its active state. Remarkably, it is capable of storing all information on a single DVD, which is retrievable subsequent to SCP-1743's return to a dormant state. Where SCP-1743 keeps its DVDs and how these DVDs are capable of storing so much information is unknown, as SCP-1743 usually remains in its active state for several days at a time. SCP-1743-2 are humanoids which appear on stage during the active state. These humanoids resemble various people whom the subject is acquainted with, mimicking features such as voices, facial hair, personalities, etc. The most defining characteristic, however, is the complete lack of any facial structure, such as eyes or a mouth. Yet, instances of SCP-1743-2 are somehow able to speak without a mouth, and subjects on stage seem to not notice the lack of facial features. As more time progresses, SCP-1743-2 instances will progressively act more cruel toward the subject, assaulting them, shouting insults, etc. SCP-1743-3 is the only part of SCP-1743 that on-stage subjects will notice as different from their normal lives. SCP-1743-3 is an event in which pre-recorded laughter, applause, and other audible reactions will emanate from the audience section, without any speaker system or specific source. These reactions usually take place at many humorous parts of the show, which would usually be otherwise very unfortunate, such as the subject falling down a flight of stairs, receiving an unemployment notice, or being informed of the death of a loved one. This almost always leads to outbursts of frustration, anger, and despair in the onstage subjects, often resulting in suicide. See Video Log 1743-26. Addendum 1743-A. On Blank, an attempt was made by Agent Blank to recover Dr. Blank from SCP-1743 with a mechanical winch and a length of rope tied into a lasso, with the intention of pulling Dr. Blank off stage. However, the machinery malfunctioned, and Agent Blank's leg was caught in the wire rope, pulling him on stage. When on stage, Agent Blank attempted to warn Dr. Blank of SCP-1743's influence, but was stopped by 2 instances of SCP-1743-2, resembling Foundation security personnel. Agent Blank was then taken backstage, and has since not been recovered. From this incident, it is presumed impossible to remove subjects from SCP-1743, and will only result in the rescuer being pulled on stage themselves. Video log 1743-26. Forward. The following is an excerpt from the final episode on Disc 1743-12, entitled Series Finale. This episode lasted exactly 76 hours, 14 minutes, and 34 seconds in total. Dr. Blank had already shown extreme stress due to SCP-1743-3 prior to this incident. Commence log. 75-5842. Dr. Blank is seen sitting at a desk similar to that in his own office, peeling a kiwi fruit with a small knife. 75-5857. Dr. Blank suddenly jerks his arm and drops the knife, seeming to have sliced his hand by accident. A low chuckle is heard from SCP-1743-3. Dr. Blank looks up and grimaces, still holding his wound. 75-5907.
What the?
Expletive.
It's so funny! Where are you and why you're doing this?
75-5916. No reply from SCP-1743-3. Dr. Blank places his head on the desk and sobs for several minutes. 76-0819. Dr. Blank reaches into one of the desk drawers and removes a handgun. It misfires and startles him, causing him to fall backwards out of his chair and hit his head. SCP-1743-3 responds with roaring laughter. 76-0837.
Stop it! Stop laughing at me!
76-0845. Laughter becomes progressively louder, to the point of screaming. Dr. Blank fumbles for the firearm and readies the barrel in his mouth. 76-0902. The pistol fires, killing Dr. Blank. Laughter ceases. 76-0953. After several seconds of complete stillness, Dr. Blank animates and rises to his feet, despite the fatal wound. He approaches the front of the stage, joined by several instances of SCP-1743-2, and all proceed to bow. SCP-1743-3 responds with applause. 76-1343. Applause ceases. Dr. Blank becomes inanimate once more, and falls off the stage into the audience area. All SCP-1743-2 instances return backstage. 76-1434. Episode ends. End log.